How to recession-proof your nonprofit. You're going to learn 5 simple principles that will help you leverage new opportunities and create new possibilities as you navigate this recession. Would you like to recession-proof your nonprofit during these times? One of the ways you can do that is prioritize your edge. That's right. Begin to evaluate all of your operations and activities and see which one is being the most effective for you at this point in time. Those that are not, you need to start thinking about, okay, how am I going to cut them? But those that are giving you the biggest wins, whether it's an operation, whether it's an activity, those are the ones that you need to focus on and continue to grow. Tell stories around them, get more volunteers involved with them, and begin to use them to leverage and get more donations toward them to continue to help them grow and create greater impact for you in the areas of your specific niche or expertise as a nonprofit. Hey, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. One way you can do that is increase your fundraising efforts. Go and look at those activities that are getting you the best results, the biggest wins right now. What are they? Begin to create more opportunities for those activities and increasing fundraising efforts towards them. One of the ways that you can do that as well is begin to share more specifically with donors how are their funds going to be used in specific ways towards that activity that you are focusing on and trying to increase those efforts towards. As you do that, they will be more motivated to give, and they will know specifically how those funds will be used at this time to help bring about that impact that you still want to bring even during this recession. I'm Miles Street, and I coach passionate, driven leaders who want to improve their performance and consult them on how to launch and scale their for-profit or nonprofit dreams. Another way you can do that is by cutting costs. I know, right? Wow, I didn't know, Miles, you were so smart. But yes, you can begin to think about how can you cut costs. If you've been taking that scorecard and been evaluating those things in those activities and operations that you do on a regular basis, and begin to look at those that are not getting you the results that you're looking for, those that are causing you the biggest cost, how can you cut them at this time? I know that's not fun. I know that's maybe not something that you want to do. We also know that in these times, sometimes you got to cut people, and that's not fun either. But you got to think the long term, how are you going to make it through this? And one of the ways that you can make it through it is by cutting costs. So what is it? Where do you need to cut that fat at? Begin to look at it. Have you evaluated and cut it and create a plan? Maybe you go from first to last. What are those first things you're going to cut? What are those last things you're going to cut? And create that plan and put it in place as you begin to move forward and get through this recession and try to cut some of those costs. One of the ways you can do that is stress test your budget. That's right. Put a plan in place in different scenarios of things that you might have to cut during this process. How is that going to impact certain things as you begin to cut those items from your budget, and who is it going to impact within your organization at the same time? But create that plan and scenario in place and put it in place for yourself. As well, have you thought about what are going to be your emergency fundraising activities as well during this time? You know, instead of having, if your budget is being stressed to the breaking point and can't hold it together, well then, what is the emergency activity you're going to put in place to try to generate funds? And have you thought about getting a line of credit, borrowing some money to make it through it? That might be some way you can do it as well to help you make it through this time. You create a plan in place as well to be able to pay all that back and help you make it through this shortfall as we go through this economic downturn. We don't know how long it's going to be, but have you put a plan in place for your budget, and how are you going to eliminate items moving forward when you get to that point? But one of the things that you can do is get closer to your donors. Think about your top 20%. Your top 20% provide 80% of the donations to keep you afloat and keep you running as you're going through this anyway. So get close to them. Find out what are they thinking about. What are some of the things that they're concerned with? How can you acknowledge them? How can you recognize them? How can you create a better communication plan to stay in contact with them better through this time so that you can retain them and keep yourself afloat and keep them connected to what you're doing and continue to add value to them at the same time as they continue to add value to you and help you stay afloat and stay involved and keep making that impact you want to make in the areas of your specialty, your expertise, your niche as a nonprofit. I hope this episode has added value to you. You've learned 5 simple principles that you can begin applying today to recession-proof your nonprofit. Prioritize that edge, increase that fundraising right now, look at ways you can cut costs and stress test your budget. And finally, don't forget, get close to those donors right now. And if you want to help measure your nonprofit success, check out this episode here. I think it'll add value to you and add benefit. So check it out, and I'll see you next time.